This is Eric Riker. I'm John Kilpatrick. We are with Okolona Aikido in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. And Eric was reading a very interesting book, Daido book, which he'll tell you a little about. And some of those ideas we're playing with, and that's what we'll start talking about today.
Okay, the book is called Transparent Power, and it was written by a guy named Tatsuo Kimura, who actually studied Aikido with a sensei for about 6 years, and then went on to study Daito-Ryu with a guy named Yukiyoshi Sagawa. And the book Transparent Power is just a series of Kimura's writings about his encounters with Sagawa Sensei. And Sagawa says that he really started to get Aiki around age 17 after doing an exercise over and over again with his father, and the exercise they call Aiki Age. And it turns out Aiki Age is the same that we in Aikido would call Kokyudosa or Kokyudosa. So that became for him the foundation of learning Aiki.
So Kokyudosa or Kokyuho is done sitting Japanese style, at least in the beginning. And so we're sitting here. Nagi offers the hands up. Now sometimes you can do all kinds of things with this, and a lot of times people might have their hands down here or something, but if you do all this, then you've got to get your hands up. So we'll just start here because I'm not interested in how you get your hands up. And so there are two versions of this. The most common version in Aikido is that I'm keeping my hands on the inside of his, and I drop my elbows. And so I do that by leaning forward from my hips. And here I don't want to move my hands. So as I come here, I'm not pushing him back. I'm not pulling him to me. He's being really strong and holding my hands. Now, when he does this, when I say be really strong, what people tend to do is lock up their body and let their grip be weak, so that when I bend this, they let go. But the proper way to practice this and learn what you're supposed to learn is to not let go and let your body move before you let your hands let go. So he's going to let his body move with it rather than letting go. So I'm bending here, I'm taking my elbows in, and then turning this like you would turn a wheel. And then there's a pin here, but that's not important to us right now. And so we drop this, and I'm not pushing, I'm not pulling, I'm just leaning into him and bringing my elbows toward him. That's one form. The other form, I do the same thing, but instead of turning my hands out like this, I turn my hands in, and it's the same thing though. I don't push, I don't pull, I push my elbows toward him, and then let him fall and turn toward him. So then if you do the first one, where you do this, on both of them, the idea of this is to get the effect on his shoulders. You want to affect his body, and in these exercises you're lifting the shoulders, and also rotating them is really important. And moving the shoulders like this breaks the person's structure. So when you're experimenting with this, and you should experiment with it, don't try to memorize a particular form, try to get the correct effect on your partner. That's the key. The form is, there are a million ways to do it, as long as you get the right effect on your partner. And and if we're doing it this way, we're also affecting the shoulders. And so breaking that structure is the critical thing. And so this form, where we come here, is the form you see in Ikkyo, Nikkyo, and that whole series of techniques. This form here is the form you see in Kotegaeshi, Shianagi, Ariminagi, and a lot of those techniques, that whole series of techniques. So what we'll be exploring then is how to do all of our Aikido, or at least all the formal exercises. Actually, when we get into what we do in freestyle, there's no grabbing or anything going on there. It's different. But in all the formal exercise, doing all of them as though they were Kokyunagi.